Hello, good morning, and welcome back to the channel. G's Flipping Parcels. It's been a while. Well, I did a video last week, and it was so hot. I had the fan on, and a couple of fans on. You couldn't really hear them in the shed, but you could hear them in the video. There's like 2 helicopters in with me. I uploaded it and then watched it about half an hour after I uploaded it. I think a couple of people watched it. I might be wrong, but it was like you could only see me going, and it's so I took it down. So it's been quite an eventful period since the last video I done, which was a haul. I think I did a video of stuff I'd got at the cab boot when I got the flasks and the various bits and bobs. Quite a lot of developments have happened. I don't know if anybody remembers or is aware, but for the last year now, my workplace has a voluntary redundancy, voluntary early retirement process in place. That myself and a few of my colleagues decided to pursue, and the plan was, for me personally, was to hopefully be successful. I'm 4 years away, 4 years in August, 4 years and a few weeks away from being able to retire. I'm 63 in August, and my retirement age is 67, so I'm a good 4 years. Obviously my health's not been the greatest. I'm still living. I'm living with Parkinson's disease, which every now and again creeps up another wee notch. You find something else you find difficult to do. The fatigue's a wee bit more disabled, gets you. The plan was to hopefully be successful in the redundancy process, and take care of financial matters, important financial matters with my severance pay, and then do this full time. And basically the money that I would make from this would be my money, just my money, my kind of disposable income money, because all my real heavy duty commitments would have been taken care of in the winter. And I need that because the fatigue and the foggy head and everything that comes with the Parkinson's can happen at any time, and for however know how long it can be like half an hour, a couple of hours. There's days where I can't really do much, I can't focus. So yeah. So that was the process that we were waiting on. We thought it would be done and dusted by the end of the year. It was delayed, and then to say the process is handled shockingly bad is an understatement. I'm afraid my employer doesn't come out of this with any plaudits at all. There was no communication at all while the process was delayed. We understood the process is complicated. We understood there was a lot of factors involved. We understood all that, but we were left hanging for quite some time, not knowing what was happening, what the timescale would be, and all we were looking for was even a message, an email or a message to say, well, all we've got to tell you is we've got nothing to tell you, and we won't have anything to tell you for the next 3 or 4 months, so don't expect any updates in the next 3 or 4 months. That would have been plenty. That would have been enough. We could have parked it, gone with lives, whereas we didn't know from 1 week, 1 month to the next what the status was, and it was quite 9-10 months ago we all once we'd shown our interest and signed the forms that we had to sign, we all got our letter with our severance pay amount, and they tell you at the time there's no guarantees that MD's going to get this or that who's going to get this. Some people will, some people won't. There's no guarantees, and you understand that, right? You understand that. We totally understand that. But when you get a letter with your severance pay, you're human, and you start to dream. Other people started to dream of a possibility. People are a wee bit older, a wee bit younger than me, but later on in their careers, seeing an alternative to just doing the same job till they retired. So there was quite a lot of stress going on around, quite a lot of a lot of uncertainty of what the script was and what was happening. And then we got an email saying blah blah blah, letters will be issued on or before the 30th of June. So we all waited for the 30th of June, nothing came before the 30th of June, we all waited for the 30th of June, it came and passed and nothing. Again, more stress, more unneeded stress for the people concerned. Then we got another message saying, no apology, but yeah, it's going to take a bit longer. And then on Friday there, I got a phone call at 9:10 from a service manager to say that the two, I'm going to call them big bosses, big boys, more like, were visiting my workplace from 11 o'clock to tell staff of the decisions. Was I okay with a phone call? I've been off my work now since the end of October. I'm currently on half pay. I've been for a couple of months. Would I be okay with a phone call? And I was like, this was the back of 9, and I was like, yeah, I'm fine with a phone call. I had considered driving in, but I'm not long out of hospital. I was in hospital 2 weeks ago. I got taken in 2 weeks ago yesterday. I had a really severe infection. I was really quite poorly. I didn't realise how poorly I was. I was really quite poorly. I got taken in an ambulance. I was in for 3 or 4 days. A couple of days were not great. They pumped me full of antibiotics through a drip. And I was on oxygen, blah blah blah. And I came through it. But I'm still on the antibiotics, the big horse antibiotics, and I'm still not quite clear in the head. It's still not shifted totally. I'm not ill anymore like I was. But that is just left a wee bit of a. It's clearing, but it's like can't get my words out, and still a wee bit forgetful, and but I'm getting there, and the antibiotics at another few days to clear. So anyway, I digress. Yeah, so I'm still not 100%. This is, as I say, a week ago, so I was only out of the hospital 5 days or something like that. So yeah, I'm okay with a phone call. That's cool, that's fine. So it gets to lunchtime, nothing. And stress really starts mattering. I don't have a tremor a lot. I have like what they call an internal tremor. I can feel it. It's like the engine in a car ticking over, tick, 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 tick. But really major, the stereotype of what Parkinson's is. It doesn't happen very often, but when I'm stressed, it really kicks in, and it kicked in on Friday big time. And I managed to, after a good period of time, I managed to calm it down. But it got to after 12, nothing. 1 o'clock, nothing. 1:30, nothing. Okay. Then about the back of 2, one of my colleagues texted me to say he didn't get it. Okay. And then he texted me back to say nobody had got it in my workplace. Nobody. Well, one person got it. But she's a team leader, different, But there's thoughts about that as well, about experience and knowledge that were used as one of the reasons why people didn't get it. There's nobody more experienced and more knowledgeable than my manager, and she was allowed to leave, which is fantastic for her, and everybody's chuffed for her if that's what she really wanted. But with the reasons that they gave for not letting people go, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, so I found out by about quarter past 2 that nobody in my workplace had got it bar this one person. 3:30 comes, nothing. 4 o'clock comes, nothing. 4:30 comes, nothing. Then my work shuts at 3 o'clock, 3:30, 3:30. So it's 4:30 and I'm still sitting, and people are saying, have you not heard anything? No, I've not heard anything. 20 to 5, 2.5 hours after I found out that nobody in my workplace had got it and I knew what was coming, I got a phone call. Like they'd forgotten about me. There's no reason. There's no reason for it to take that long. They left my workplace at 12:30 apparently, or just before 12:30. So they were in for about an hour and a half. So they left my workplace at 12:30. It took them another 4 hours to contact me and tell me I wasn't successful. Nobody in my workplace was successful. And it looks like nobody ever was going to be successful. Yet they let us go through this whole process for a year. Stressful process for a year. And we were never going to get it. Going by their reasons, we were never going to get it. So, you're disappointed? Yep, of course we are. I'd have been disappointed if some folk had got it in my work and I hadn't got it, or, disappointed, but not angry, disappointed. But the anger I feel, and I think my colleagues feel, is the fact that nobody got it, and nobody was going to get it, and that was never, whether they could make it clear or they could hint at it or whatever. People went into a process like running a race. You're never going to win. The way I'd say it, it's like, yeah, you're absolutely, of course you can join the race with everybody else. You're as much right to join this race and take part in this race as everybody else. But do you know what? We're going to tie your legs together. But you go for it. I think I'll leave it. Thanks. So then that was a weekend of disappointment, and for me personally, my plan B was to cut my days down to 2 days a week. I can't do 5 days a week anymore. For the last 8.5 years, I've got up at 5:30 in the morning, left the house at 6:30 in the morning, driven 54 miles to my work, got in there for 8 o'clock in the morning, left at 3:30 and got home at 5 o'clock, 54 miles back, 5 days a week. Hail, rain or snow. Hail, rain or snow, and that's no joking. A few years ago there was a really bad snow, and I made it. I got to 10 minutes away from my work to be texted to the centre that I work in wasn't open because of the snow, and I was 10 minutes away from my work. I made it through. I always made it through. I always made my work. It's only been the last couple of years with medical things that my sickness and my timekeepings started to take a bit of a pounding, but it can't be helped. So my plan was to go 2 days a week, but that was planned. But I was focused on this in redundancy, thinking that it was a really good chance that it would work for me. But now it doesn't, and then I sit down and I have to be realistic, and I have to think that I don't even know if I can do 2 days a week, because I do this. I've been doing this while I've been off, and nowhere near as much as people would think I've been doing it. Because I come in here some mornings and I within about half an hour I go, oh, and it's just like my head fills with sand, and I have to go and sit and let it pass. Or I'm in here trying to pack stuff, and I've really got to pack stuff, and it's like I was saying to Yvonne this morning. It's like when it's like having a really nervous panic attack, shaking and fumbling, and This, you know, it's difficult, but you get there. So I'm all right with that because I can just stop and go. Can't do that in my work. I was doing that in my work. My fucking bosses were amazing with me, man. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely amazing with me. There was never a bit of pressure. There was never an ounce of nothing. They just like do what you can do, man. You know what I mean? And you know, and it's, but you can't do that forever. You know. So you have to be realistic, and then the drive into work, and then the ongoing problems with the bladder and all that, which hopefully soon I'll find out. I get me in for my second operation, and at least I'll get that chain off my back, or off, well, not my back, you know what I mean. So yeah, so that's where we are now. So what I've done is I've applied for ill health retirement. I won't be able to actually officially retire as such because I wasn't in the pension long enough to have a good pension pot, because up until I met Yvonne I was only 21. I was 21 for like 40 years, but and thought retirement was like miles away. No, it's just round the corner, matey. But I've got enough that'll cover. That'll be a wee enough to. But this, I need to do this. So it's full steam ahead. I was doing this before I went sick. Before I get taken in with it, because I'd went on to happy, I was ramping it up to the next, trying to ramp up to the next level and get more stuff listed and get more sales, and it was working. But it all kind of obviously fell away while I was in hospital because yeah. But now's the time to get on with it. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of days. As I say, I'm still not totally over the infection. But now that I know that this is going to be my living, I'll work when I can work, and if it means I work at 8 o'clock at night till 10 o'clock at night, or 8 o'clock at night till midnight, because my head's sick or whatever, ridiculous times, it doesn't matter. I need to get this moving. But the good thing, I think, sound ridiculously insane. Like, why would you do that? Because I need to work when I can work. I need to work when I can focus. I need to work when my head's clear. I need to work when I'm not. Because I never done that for the last year. I would finish at 5 o'clock. If I'd spent any time in here, I would finish, and you know, I'd make the dinner, and Yvonne would come in for work, and we'd just have the usual night in front of the TV or whatever, which we still will do. But if there's things that need done in here, I'll do them. And she's totally supportive of one, man. She's just amazing. I don't think I've said that to you before. She just goes, like, go for it, you know. Do. The only thing she was supportive of was when I was in hospital, and usually the times I've been in hospital, I put the shop in time away, but because I was like, it just came on me, and I was like radio gaga for a couple of days, I didn't put it on time away, and I sold stuff, and I'm kind of going, don't buy anything. I was selling stuff, and I was saying to everyone, it was like a big record case. Can you pack that and post that? No, she said. Well, she didn't. She said yes, but only if you want them to return it. So yeah, so I had to cancel a few orders while I was in hospital and deal with them when I come out of hospital. But so that's where we are. So we'll try to get things ramped up. I don't have a lot of sales. I've had a few sales over the last few days, but they're all posted and packed and away gone. The only thing I've got outstanding I sold last night was two of these speakers. I don't know if you remember the video with these speakers. I sold them. Decided to sell them in pairs. The centre speaker has been on for a week or two, a couple of weeks. I've sold two of these already for £80. And I sold these two last night for £75. That's £155. And there's the centre speaker's on for £80, so it's a £230 odd. Once it sells, it will sell because there's quite a lot of interest. And they cost me 15 quid. So yeah. So onwards and upwards. I've done a bit of tidying up, but I'll show you around some other time. one of the pickups at the discard boot on Saturday, I shall show you in give me a 1 second. I picked this up on Saturday. It's a dual toaster, 4-slice toaster. It's got a bagel facility, so two of the settings is that it only toasts one side. Gave it a clean. Didn't take long. A wee buff up. So it's had a lot of interest, and it's only been on for 3 or 4 days. It's got a lot of interest. It's on at £120. I paid £4 for it. £4. It works. I ruined a lot of bread. Well, I ate a lot of toast testing it. So it's on for £120, but I'll probably end up selling it for about 100. But it cost me £4. You know, so it's lovely. So yeah, I got another few good pickups. I got this. Wee bit of nostalgia, maybe not the thing, maybe the tray, but Smith's Crisps and Nuts. Picked that up at the weekend for £2, £3. I've got it on for 25. What else did I get? Quickly. A backgammon set. I got it for a couple of quid. I've got it on for 29 quid. I'm not opening it up because it'll go all over the bloody place. If anybody's watching, any women are watching, I don't know how to get rid of these. I picked these up from a contact that I've got. They're like linen tops. I'm averse to take them out the packet. I may have to take them out the packet. I'll take this one out the packet. Linen tops. They're quite cool, especially in this hot weather. See that? I've got a few of them. That's a kind of grey colour. I don't know what size this is. That is like a 42, that's like a black one, got a V-neck, I think it's black. 42, which is like an XL. I'm going to sell them for a tenner each. This one here, don't know what size that is. It's like a royal blue, I think. There's a grey one. Nice grey one. Get in touch if you're interested. This is a large, it's a kind of fawny one. Lovely when the weather's hot. Anybody's interested? This is a large black one. Large. Woo. So yeah, a usual eclectic mix of stuff. I've got these speakers to pack, and then it's a case of list, get stuff listed. Yeah, yeah. So thanks for watching. I had a comment the other day or last week, which was really cool. Sorry, mate, I forget your name, but keep commenting, and it's really nice to hear from people, you know, and have, you know, saying what I've seen these things. He was commenting about the flasks. I sold one of the old retro flasks. So yeah, hit like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps me. I'm not going to say that word because a lot of people say that word. Comment on anything that you see or any questions. Just feel free. So I'm going to. This is it. This is my future, and I'm very excited about it. I've been excited for a year. Anybody that talks to me, or I mean, when they get me talking about what, and I start talking about buying stuff and selling it on and that, I'm very motivated, and I'm very excited about it. It's a total buzz, and it gives me the freedom to do stuff when I can do stuff, and sit in my big fat bum when till the clouds pass. But anyway, that's nearly half an hour of me talking utter nonsense. So hit like, subscribe, share the video. You never know, somebody might want to see it. I really need to focus on doing car boot videos and learning how to edit. I really do. I need to spend a day doing that because people like the editing, the car boot videos. So I need to get some of them done. I think I've only ever put one out, and that's not really good enough. So anyway, no, it's that one, last night's result. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye bye.